Throughout gardening, there are so many terms that we need to know to keep our gardens looking beautiful, or at least alive, and there are three very common terms that I believe are used incorrectly. The first term is weed. Not that one, the regular one. According to Merriam-Webster, a weed is a plant that is not valued where it's growing. That's actually pretty sad. The problem is not that the plant is destructive or that it's doing anything wrong. It's that we don't value it. We use this term a lot when it comes to our obsession with manicured lawns. Anything that is not the grass we chose to value is a weed. That may include things like clover and other wildflowers, which, as a beekeeper, I and my bees value very much. I feel we overuse this term by applying it to a whole species of plants like dandelions and presume that others will apply the same label to the same plant in every situation. I'm not suggesting we should eliminate this from our vocabulary entirely. It is a valid term after all. But I would encourage you and others to use the term intentionally, perhaps with additional context. Maybe instead of all dandelions are weeds, you can say the dandelions in my front yard are weeds where I grow only lawn. It's just a suggestion. I'm not your dad. Ever hear something is invasive? According to texasinvasives.org, an invasive species is a species that is not native to an ecosystem under consideration and whose introduction will cause or is likely to cause environmental or economic harm or harm to human health. You have no idea how many takes that took. I see the word invasive overused a lot to include plants that are doing great at what they're supposed to be doing, growing. Let's take mint, for example. So many gardeners will say, don't plant mint in your garden, it's so invasive. Don't get me wrong, I don't disagree with the sentiment. If you plant mint in your garden instead of keeping it in a pot, well, prepare to deal with that the rest of your life. But it's not technically invasive because it doesn't cause any harm. It just annoys you that it pops up everywhere. What I think most gardeners mean is a vigorous or prolific grower, which can be okay if we know how to manage it, but we as gardeners should still get to know the invasive plants of our area, and we can learn it from authoritative sources such as texasinvasives.org. And once we know what the invasive plants are for our area, we should actively avoid planting them so that they don't harm native species. This last term is tricky. Hardy. This is where an official definition can introduce confusion. In English, we can use the word hardy to mean physically strong. The hardy soldiers march 20 miles a day without rest. In the context of plants, another definition is more appropriate, capable of withstanding adverse conditions. For plants, hardy means something even more specific, to mean resilient to cold temperatures. This is not a case of hardy or not, though, it's a spectrum. So a gardener may ask you, hey, how cold hardy is that peach tree you have? Oh, this is the Red Baron peach, and it's cold hardy down to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Red Baron peach, by the way, is a beautiful tree with brilliant red blooms. What do you think about these common gardening terms? Or tell me about some of your own down in the comments. I always like interacting with my commenters. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you next time.